Hi guys, this is an internal tournament for our team mtg-ss, and I played round 1 against Elin. There was some audio trouble with the video because I forgot to not play music so that I wouldn't get the audio muted. So I got the audio muted in several parts of the video. Next time that I stream a round, I will not play any audio. I will only leave the game audio so that you guys can hear everything. But this time around, I will just have to comment on the game over the muted parts so that the game isn't completely without sound. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's watch the matches again. By the way, if you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and to my YouTube channel, and I left also my link to my Twitch channel in the description. I will be streaming all the rounds that I play, and hopefully we find a way to stream the final matches as well, even if we do not play if we do not play them. So yeah, let's start. So Elin plays Vraska. I kind of already expected that, but in this tournament we only get to play one deck throughout the entire tournament. So I had to bring Nissa either way, because I think it has the best matchups against the best decks. We do not expect to see any Domray or anything like that. So yeah, in this match I got a bit of an unfortunate hand. I have the Druid, but the other cards are too expensive. I do not have any cheap blockers. We want to see some an egg or maybe Forest Patrol, because Vraska can threaten to put out a lot of damage in turn 3, 4, and 5, and we want to have those blockers. There's no reason to play anything here. We will be using our Fragile Gem, which can be very valuable. Since we do not even see any ramp, we want to keep the Fragile Gem so that we can play the Day of Judgment when needed. But at this point, we don't sacrifice the Fragile Gem, and we seriously need some blockers, so I decided to play the Druid here. And also I'm seeing Centaur Sage, so I may not need the Druid to cycle. I still don't really want to give him the I don't want to give him the removal just yet. So I decided to still not trade, or my Druid would be dead next turn. But yeah, we run into some trouble here. The only blocker I can reasonably play this turn would be the Venom Archer. If I do play the Scion, I would have only 5 mana next turn, no play to follow up the Scion with. But since I am basically almost dead, really, may have to consider it. We decide to risk it, because we kind of have to. and we get hit by a lot of damage. Yeah, so there's not I'm always blocking 2 damage here. It's there's not too much that we can do. Doesn't really matter what we block. If we block the 2-1, we give him 2 cards. I decide to not block because I see a Tarmogoyf that I can block next turn. But yeah, this is terrible. We do have the rampant growth, so we could play the Scion now. I thought I have to concede here, but actually I don't have to concede just yet. It depends on his hand and what he gets from the throne. But it's very likely he has lethal. So if we play the Rampant Growth and the Scion, we get blockers for just enough damage that we might live. We could block we could only take 8 if he doesn't play anything. Of course he will play something. Like there's a lot of ways for him to get lethal there. But the Rampant Growth puts me at 9 health, and that may be just enough. And next turn I will have Day of Judgment, and then I could follow up with another Day of Judgment, and we might even be able to stabilize. But it doesn't look great this turn. He gets a stun. He buffs the peer. It's probably already lethal now. But he can buff the peer some more, so why not? And he just stunned the Venom Archer. Attack with everything, and he got lethal. We lost this one. A bit of an unfortunate hand. He also played it really well, so we didn't really stand a chance of winning this. But it is a best of 3, so he still has to win one more match. And we are moving to the next one right away. The Vraska matchup for Nissa is decent. She is favored. I don't know how favored she is, but she is definitely favored. And by the way, this list is not exactly the list that you are used to seeing. There's just one card that has been replaced. I'm running double Blindside and only one Venom Archer. So this hand doesn't look amazing yet. We have a druid, but we do not see any early ramp. We're going to have to top deck some ramp to start our draw engine, and we do top deck the Sylvan Shrine there. I drop the druid immediately. I see him at 3 mana. He would have to. I put him on the grudge match if I do not. If I block here. If I do not block here, there is no way that Vraska can remove this at 3 mana. So you can even decide to not block and not give her a chance. I decide to give her a chance, put her on the grudge match, because I have Sylvan Shrine into plot, and I already have a second draw engine in my hand. So I see no reason to risk it there and take 2 more damage. The grudge match, of course, also slows her down a little bit if she has the grotesque in hand and really wants to play it. Yeah, this is the Sylvan Shrine turn, there's no question about it. We draw into birds, so we hope that our druid will live, but it is unlikely. Flagrant Foul. So it doesn't develop anything, but does with our druid. We don't want to take the 6/6. I'm looking at my hands, thinking that I have the centaur in hand. The birds cycle 1 card with the centaur, but I value my life total more than 1 card at the moment. So yeah, I play the birds only to block the 6/6. Our next turn looking like it could be worms. It may be even correct to play worms right away. I decide to go with a rather strange play here. I am not sure that it was correct. When I played this, I figured I should have probably played the worms instead. Because while and the sequencing here is also strange, because I should play the treetop lookout right away because I'm putting him on the worm. So I think he played the worm. You'll have a 5/5. So I definitely want to play the treetop lookout. But if I top deck Tarmogoyf, which happened here, then I would like to play the treetop lookout and Tarmogoyf for a stronger board. Instead, I went with the Venom Archer first. Since I already planned to play the lookout anyway, I should have just played the lookout first. And this might be okay to go to play the centaur here because we have the second centaur in hand. Otherwise, I think the worms will look a lot more appealing than the centaur in this turn. Yeah, we do block all the damage here because we have ways to develop our board further. Oh, I decide to not block the 4 damage. I wonder why I did not block the 4 damage. Because I'm always dropping the worms here. So with this board state, we are pretty much stabilizing, which is very bad news for Vraska. We have a second engine in our hand, so we are not very worried at this point. Yeah, we just trade 1 for 1 here. That's the purpose of the worms. So whenever I'm playing Nissa, if I'm playing a turn, I'm always thinking about the next turn pretty much. In the early game, I even have to think 2-3 turns ahead. It's really important to plan your sequence in the early game and decide right away whether your sequence is too greedy or not against the deck that you are playing. It dooms our worms. It's okay because we can develop further. What I've learned from playing this matchup is that the Day of Judgment is quite a valuable card because they play Even Death, so they only need to get some 1 or 2 more rich creatures to put us in a bad spot. So we want to value our Day of Judgment and rather develop and start cycling further with the Centaur, since we can block damage anyway. We don't expect him to be running the overrun, although I do run the overrun in Vraska, but I don't expect him to run it. So you can just we can just safely develop with the Centaur here. Oh? No. Did I do that? Because I have a blind side? And she has access to 7 mana? Not 8? But she can still play the Kotofed. So I'm not sure. Not sure about that Day of Judgment. Well, I was more focused when playing the match, so maybe I probably had my reasons to play the Day of Judgment there. And then probably has to do with the fact that he has access to 7 mana at the moment. But the 7 mana could still mean a raise board, which means 7 damage to my face if I don't have any board. I do draw the second Day of Judgment, so we are not in trouble. But it's kind of unfortunate because I don't have another way to cycle with the Centaur. So the thing with this list is that since we put the second blindside in, the way in which he may have affected our deck negatively is that we have slightly worse turns with the Centaur when we top deck the blindside instead of the Venom Archer. It can be a significantly worse turn, but the chance for it to happen is also maybe not so great. Yeah, we should block without killing it. We cannot kill it anyway with the block. So just block with the less valuable creature, which is the Scion. If he does kill it, he has some chance of removing the Centaur here. It's 66 to the power of 2. No, actually, sorry. That's not it. It's 1 minus 0.66 to the power of 2. It's actually a little bit more complicated than that, because if he removes, uh, if the first hit goes to the Tarmogoyf, it becomes the chance becomes higher that it will hit the center afterwards. But yeah, we just won there because we drew the combo, so we don't have to worry about anything. But we drew the combo a bit early, right? We didn't have to draw the entire deck in that match. So that was a bit fortunate for us, because otherwise we would have to draw more, and I didn't have many ways to draw cards there. I did have ways to stall though. I had another Day of Judgment, so he could have still stalled a bit. And maybe drew into Spellbook or the Druid. Also the Druid, yeah, without ramp, didn't really matter. Yeah, here we just keep the Cocoon. The Cocoon, I'm thinking to keep Day of Judgment, but I think it's probably too greedy, and I don't. It's bad to get to a situation where we are forced to play Day of Judgment early against Vraska. So I think it is still probably not correct to keep it in the starting hand. We want to play it. We want to be able to survive until we get actually to a good position to play the Day of Judgment, where we get a lot of value from it. And with this hand, this is looking much better than the last games. I do not care about his board state right now. I don't even need to play the lookout here. The Cocoon does the job of blocking. I'm not going to be blocking the 2-1. And if he plays the 6-6, we have the Cocoon. So our plan is to Sylvan Shrine, activate once, then play the Jaraga Druid, activate the Sylvan Shrine again for 1 draw. And even draw the second Sylvan Shrine here, but we probably won't be able to draw with it. We do have a good top deck, so that our turn becomes better. And we definitely go for the rampant growth, although he's developing a threatening board, you know. It's a pretty threatening board. But not that threatening that we wouldn't ramp and draw here. And this is blocking the 6-6. Our next turn should be... I guess we want to play the Sylvan Shrine, because we want to be able to play the Crush of Worms next turn every time. We don't want to get screwed by the land. And this is what I'm checking, yeah. I went to check which turn we were on, because the land starts proccing on 6. If the land procs next turn and I can't play Worms, I am in a very bad position. So yeah, I want to get the 9 mana, play around the ways in which I lose this match, and just drop 2 creatures. Which ones? I'm not so sure, but I went for the 3 top, I'm pretty sure. I think I didn't care about the trap and I just went for the 3 top, or what. So next turn I have access to worms. If I have 10 mana, I will. It's kind of it's kind of a sure way to stabilize almost. But he does have already 3 creatures on the board and floating some mana, which could imply a worm coming. But if we have access to 10 mana, we can technically just decide to play a Scion, just as a safety guard, as a safeguard against double removal here. I don't know. But even with double removal, it's not like we are dead, but we would be in very low health. I would always be threatened by a lot of things, and I don't want that. But I think I decide to not play the Scion here. He does have a worm, so if he could remove 2 of them, then he would have lethal. But it's not like he can grudge match one. Because if he grudge matches, his creature dies, so he will need access to more mana to remove them. With a very specific hand, it may be possible for him to get lethal here. Like if he has a 4/4 that destroys a creature and destroys one of your creatures, and then a flagrant foul, and I guess he could put at least 9 damage on my face. It would still not be lethal, but it would be pretty damn close. Because he will just destroy the 2/2, get 2 mana, he will be able to play Flagrant Foul as well. But this is fine. We get a proc, which is nice here. The proc really helps us because we are not we don't have the combo in hand yet, and we'll still need to draw most of our deck to win this game. Probably should save the charge so that we can cycle with the druid next turn and not attack here, obviously. It would be nice if we had a way to block the 2/1 without having him draw 2 cards, but we do not have a way to do that. Vraska's turn. Okay. Don't remember what he did here. Oh, I know. Yeah, I remember now. I should just block without killing it, because I don't need to kill it. So not giving him the 2 mana is just fine. Yeah, so that thing as trample is kind of scary. But we do have a Scion in hand. So we can make a big Scion to block it. Yeah, let's start cycling. Activate this. Okay. All the same, I was going to do that anyway. When we are cycling, we need to count the cards so we don't overdraw. So now I'm going to wake with the Sylvan Shrine proc. And if I play the birds, I'm staying at... I'm going to 9 actually. If I play the birds, I go to 9. So I'm still safe to draw the next turn's card. So I can still play the birds and I probably should. I decide here to not cycle the Venom Archer. Technically the Scion will be big enough to block the 7/7 even if I do cycle the Venom Archer. But I decide to just make a bigger Scion here and have it stay alive. Even after the trade. Yeah, 6 cards left in the deck. So I block with the 8/8 here to take the least amount of damage either way, but he does have the giant growth, so he gets to deal 3 damage to our face. I don't know what he got. What it's the 7/7, right? I don't think he played anything bigger. Yeah, so he got the 7/7 trample from that. I know he has another trample in hand, so I want to conserve this Day of Judgment probably to deal with the trample. I shouldn't be... I should be careful with how much I draw here, because we may need access to 15 mana to kill her. Like, we may need to use a blind side on the turn of the OTK. So we do not want to draw so many cards that if we proc the land, we put ourselves in a position where we will not have enough mana to finish the game. But just playing 1 Rampant Growth is probably still safe. Because we have 5 cards left in the deck. Now we have access to the combo, but we do not have a way to use it. This is an important resource. I decided to blindside there, but he does have a 2-4 reach. I could have simply blindsided the reach, and if he did not have a reach or flying to follow up with, then I have lethal next turn. So I don't know why I decided to blindside a 6-6 there. I thought, well, I have 2 blindsides in hand, so I can spare this one. But I don't think it was correct. I think it's correct to put him on lethal there, to threaten him right away so that he has to spend his resources to avoid lethal. And if he cannot, then we just win. So the blind side here was almost definitely wrong. But it's okay because we have a very big advantage. Yeah, so now that he has committed the 7-7 as well, I think it's a good enough turn to play Day of Judgment. Should just play Day of Judgment and drop a blocker or 2, as we may want to play around the raise boar and prevent some damage from the raise boar. So if he does play the raise boar, he will be leaving himself open to the combo. The centaur is played last here, obviously, because we do not want to draw. We are at the end of our deck, and we already have all the tools that we need. We just need to get to 15 mana if he plays a reach or flying, but we do not get to 15 mana here. So that's one more reason why we should have blindsided the rich creature on that turn. And anyway, we do have the lethal here and we won. GG. And this makes it 2 out of 3. So we are through to the next round. Elin played, I think, really well, and I do trust his knowledge of Vraska. I've been reading some of his some of the stuff that he wrote about Vraska, because I am learning Vraska myself, and I still make plenty of mistakes with it. If you want to check it out, he did drop a document on the Vraska channel in the Spellslingers Discord, where he exposes some of his thoughts on Vraska. Anyway, yeah, this round we won. We are through to the next one. We don't know who we will play in the next one as well. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and next video I will upload with the correct audio, which is the in-game audio. I made a big mess this time. I'm sorry, guys, that we had to watch this with only me talking, but yeah, next time for sure I will make sure to not listen to music while I stream the matches. Anyways, see you guys.